Government Public Affairs Officer Magnus Henagulph pulled no punches in his 19-page written submissions to the Sage Commission on how to cut out financial waste from government departments. One of his recommendations was that the regiment be dramatically scaled back. In his submission under the heading Defense, Mr. Henagulph notes that Bermuda Regiment soldiers would be unable to muster a defense against a well-armed, well-determined enemy, and points out that the UK and the USA are unlikely to allow a foreign power to occupy Bermuda in the event the island was attacked. Among his defense submissions, Mr. Henagulph's suggestion is to, quote, dramatically scale back the regiment according to a predefined plan to the point where it no longer exists as a military entity, end quote. And he goes on to recommend that the regiment's base be closed, its equipment liquidated, conscription abolished, and a national youth program be established. Music to the ears of anti-conscription activist Larry Marshall Sr., you might think. Well, not exactly.
Where we agree that conscription should be abolished, we disagree that the regiment should be scrapped. And I think that the reason why is because it does have a role. We've always been against the process by which the regiment is formed and maintained.
Furthermore, Mr. Marshall feels if regiment soldiers were adequately paid and treated like other government entities, they would be inundated with recruits, particularly in the current economic recession. He also has a problem with the regiment's current advertising campaign, which offers new volunteers a $300 bonus.
It's not really a bonus. I mean, to be candid, that's a joke because it equates to about an extra $2.25 an hour, which they call a bonus. And that would take them from $6.25 an hour to, what, $8.50 an hour.
Mr. Marshall, who battled the former government all the way to the Privy Council, expresses his frustration with the new OBA government's pace in finally abolishing the practice, which was abolished in the UK in 1960.
The OBA has had ample time to be at least in a position where legislation should have been tabled by now. It has not. And in order for legislation to be tabled, it has to be drafted. And I don't think they're even at that point. And it's not because they don't have the expertise. It's because this obviously isn't a priority. And I think when human rights are not a priority to this new government, that is indeed disturbing.
Public Safety Minister Michael Dunkley has previously said that he and Premier Craig Cannonier are committed to ending conscription, and a plan on its demise was being worked on. Tari, Trott reporting for ZBM News 9.